and welcome back to the Gemini Archives, everyone.
Welcome back.
So it's been a minute.
Been quite a minute.
I know we said we'll record again sometime in mid-July. Today is the first day of August when we're recording this. So sorry.
Yeah, I mean, listen, life has been kind of busy, so.
Yeah, it's been a little crazy. So I had to watch Picasso for a week and a half while my parents were out, basically 2 weeks while they were out in Utah visiting you.
Yeah.
And that was a lot because she has all these health problems and the poor thing,
I know.
So that was, like half a month, and then a bunch of other stuff happened, and we're just like,
I would say I'm getting ready to move in literally less than a month now. I got 29 days till I move into my new place. So I have been busy trying to get all my stuff ready, and my husband's been working like crazy, so it's just me most of the time, like putting everything together, and it's been a pain. So
I know. I feel bad. And during that time when I was watching Picasso, we had 2 power outages, and like crazy storms. Like yesterday we had one with like the loudest thunder I have ever heard in my life. Like,
oh God.
It rattled all the bones in my skull. I was like, ugh. Like,
yeah.
It was so like I literally was sitting there eating dinner, just like, I don't even know, like watching something. And all of a sudden I thought like something exploded. And like fucking pasta went everywhere. I was like, what the fuck? Like literally, it was like that trope of like someone sitting at the movies and getting jump scared and their popcorn flies everywhere. Like that's literally what I look like. Pasta went everywhere. I was like,
oh my God.
Oh my God. So I've been having
so
some crazy storms, and yeah, I know, it's hilarious. It's funny now that it's fine. And I say that and I feel bad because, we have a lot of friends down in Texas that got impacted by that hurricane, and people sitting in the dark for weeks. I'm like, I don't know how you did it. Like, I would just leave. I would be like, I'm going where there's electricity.
Dude, do you remember when that happened to us in like 2011 and we lost power for like 5 days? But a lot of parts of the state lost it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That was so bad.
Was that a snowstorm though? That was because of snow.
I don't know. No, it was rain because it was almost Halloween. They canceled Halloween that year, so there was no snow yet.
Oh, I thought it was snow.
No, it was high wind and rain, and it blew out a transformer on our street, and it took them 5 days to fix.
Yeah, hold on a second, Lauren. Sorry, I had to smash that fucking bug. It was driving me crazy. Anyway, I think I got it. Sorry. No, there's a bug flying around my window, and I just had to kill it. Now I have bug guts on my window. Life is great.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? So I know, I was like, oh my God, because not only am I like worrying about Picasso, because, the vet gave her this supplement to give her because she had like kidney problems. And I didn't know it makes them vomit and have diarrhea everywhere. So of course my house was destroyed because she was shitting and throwing up all over my house. And I stopped giving to her and immediately stopped. And I was like, well, that was a pain. And I thought there was something bigger wrong. No, it was just that supplement. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I wanted to choke out the vet because of this. And like, it was very stressful, but she's fine now. Everything's fine. So,
well, listen, like, it was nice to have my parents here, but I got sick half the time because we ended up going to a buffet that Saturday that they were there or something. Like, it was a few days after they got here, and I got norovirus. Jesus. And it took me out for half the time they were there, and I couldn't really eat, and all they wanted to do was eat, and I'm like, I can't, like. And then we went to Wendover, which is like, if anyone doesn't know where Wendover is, it's basically in the desert on the border of Utah and Nevada, more so Nevada, because you can't gamble in Utah, but you can in Nevada. So on the Nevada side of it is where all the casinos are. And it's like an hour and a half from like where I am in the Salt Lake area. And like, or maybe 2 hours, closer to 2 hours. But yeah, so we went there, and the whole time I was sick, I could barely eat, and everyone wanted to go gamble and drink and have a good time, and I'm like laid up in the hotel room with the banana because it's all I could eat. And, like, just suffering, and a lot of water too. And like it was, I think for like 3 days straight, it was like, it's sorry to be gross, nothing but diarrhea. And it was like water, couldn't hold a
Yikes.
thing down. But then as soon as we got back and I started eating like saltines and soup and rice and stuff, then my stomach started to feel better. And then by almost the very end of the trip that my parents were here, I was back to normal. So
have you missed us in our shit stories? Because
yeah, sorry. But like, I'm serious. That norovirus is going around bad. It's like, especially around here, there was a lot of people I knew who just, they couldn't eat for a week. And then it wasn't just me, but like my husband for a couple of days was sick. My dad, my husband, my in-laws, and, friends of ours, like everyone got sick. My mom didn't though, miraculously, but
of course.
She was taking probiotics though, so that's probably why. But like, yeah, it's bad. And it's like, it's places like buffets and where people are touching stuff because it's highly contagious through like spit. So I'm sure some dumbass was finally starting to feel better, still wasn't though, and spit and touched all over the buffet and got everyone sick.
Ugh.
So
humans are gross. That's why I don't go into public if I can help it. Like,
yeah, same. Honestly, it's like if it weren't for my parents being here, I wouldn't even went to this place.
I know.
So,
I feel bad because I know, because when your stomach is fucked like that, like you can't do anything.
Oh my gosh,
the worst.
All I did was lay down. I feel like for 2 days straight afterwards and try to get better. It was bad.
I know.
My husband and I are planning on going back to Wendover sometime in like March-ish, like end of March. And
when you don't have the plague.
Yeah, and so I can actually experience it and it'll be really nice. But otherwise, it was a nice time when my parents were here, and we did some fun stuff. We rented a house. But the fucking home
really nice.
It was a beautiful house. But the homeowners happened to just be in the state from wherever they were living, and they were trying to get their motorhome out of the driveway. And for like the last 2 days we were there, they were coming in and out. And I'm like, what in the fuck? Like, what is the point of having an Airbnb, or Vrbo is what we used, if the owners are coming in and out? You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
And they like were apologetic about it, but it's like, just cancel it. Like, we're leaving in 2 days. Like, let us just have the house and then figure it out, like.
I know, like,
ridiculous.
Are they legally like allowed to go while there's people there? Because I don't even know if that's legal.
Well, it's their house, so they do have the rights to go in if they have to, but they have to let the guests know. But they really didn't want to impose. That's the thing. But it's like, you just don't fucking come then. Like, go do something else. Like, if you were planning on doing that, maybe before you had any guests there, make sure the fucking RV works.
Yeah,
they haven't been in a long time, and it's like. Anyway, it was just a mess. But then I was home, and then I had to deal with my new neighbors who live behind us, who smoke weed 24 hours a day. And like, dude, nothing against people who smoke weed, but like, I don't want to smell it all the time. I got respiratory problems, and I'm like sensitive to smell, and I really don't like the smell, So we've had to complain like 3 times, and they still do it. They're doing it right now. I smell it right now. Yeah. And they just, I got 29 days to deal with this shit. And it's like, I cannot wait to get out of here. So.
Well, thank God, at least, like, you don't have to deal with it for like another year or some shit.
I know. So. If I had to live here for another year, I'd kill myself. Sorry, bleep that out. But like, oh,
yeah,
man.
I know. But so that's what we've been up to, honestly. And, I've started working out again and doing other stuff, and it's just like, I completed a portrait recently of Nekrofilth. Those of you are familiar with Nekrofilth and watch The Witching Hour. Friend of the show, Francisco, commissioned me to do a portrait of him, and we said that in the episode with him, if you want to check that out. How we played a song, or he played a song from Phantasm, and like the artwork was just like this really crude wolf, and he made a joke about, well, Megan could do a better drawing than that, or whatever he said.
Well, we did an hour episode with him.
Yeah, the last one, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was like, fuck it, and he paid me to do it, and I did it, and I'm gonna throw it up on the screen here. You can see it. It came out pretty good. I'm very happy with it. So, you know, and that's like my first werewolf I've ever drawn. So, you know, it took me a minute to like kind of figure it out because it's just a lot of hair. And anyone that draws, especially like, you know, with pencil, like photorealistic type stuff, knows drawing hair is a pain in the ass. Like, it takes forever because you're basically drawing each individual strand. I would rather have someone glue my eyes shut than fucking do that, you know? Yeah. It's so annoying. So, but yeah, this is it. I, you know, I'm happy with it. I'm going to send it out to him, by the end of this week. Sorry, it's taking me a minute. Yeah, I was working on that and some other stuff too. We're doing tarot readings. If anybody wants a tarot reading, email us at the Gemini Archives at gmail.com. I'm still pushing the fucking email. I'm going to keep doing it every episode until someone actually fucking emails us.
Please. So, just one.
Just email us. We just want one. And we're going to take a screenshot and show you all the second we get an email. But I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so that's what we've been up to. Sorry for the delay, I guess. We thought we were going to be back sooner and we had just had stuff going on like for 2 months straight. And it's like,
I know, been
crazy.
Nuts, but now we have a little bit of a break. But just to like give you like a little bit of a timeline as to like how the posting is going to go for the next couple months, because we're still going to be busy probably until November, you know? So, because I move on in 29 days, like I said. So we'll probably put up, well, besides this episode, maybe one or two more, depending. And then
because we got an episode that we want to fucking do that's relevant to like now that's going on. So, and we'll fill you in on that at some point. But yeah, so maybe one more, and then you move.
Then I move, so I got to take a little bit of a 1 or 2 week break just to move and like get settled. And because I'm not going to have any of my stuff hooked up, my computer or anything, so I have to get that situated. But then we'll probably do another episode after that, like one more, because then I'm leaving to go to Connecticut at the beginning of October. So
we'll visit Connecticut.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and you're going to that convention like not even a week before.
Yeah.
So we'll have to talk about that. Lauren's going to, I don't even know what the name of the convention is.
It's called Fan X Salt Lake City, and it's basically like a comic book convention, and so many good people are going, and my husband and I cannot wait to go because he's never been to one of those before. He's never met like a celebrity, you know?
Oh, he's going to have a blast.
He told me he met Samuel L. Jackson in the airport.
English, motherfucker!
That's amazing.
Yeah. I was like, what? Like snakes on a plane? He's like, yes, I met him. It's like, what the fuck? That's awesome. But
that was like, we met Andre 3000 at JFK when we were going to Italy.
Yeah, that's a true story. But he's never been to like a convention like that before. So we've been to so many, so I'm gonna break his convention virginity. I can't wait.
I'm so excited because who's going, and Lauren's gonna get me stuff signed, is Allison Court, who is the voice of Lydia in the Beetlejuice cartoon. My favorite thing ever.
And also Lunette the Clown.
Oh yeah, and Lunette the Clown. And
I was big comfy couch.
I was beside myself when I saw that. I'm like, I was like throwing money at Lauren. Get me shit signed, just like pelting her with money.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so happy. I wish I could go myself, obviously, but
who I really want to see, the two people I really want to see are Matthew Lillard and Sean Astin, who I got to tell Sean Astin that his movies changed my life.
Yeah.
I'm serious. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. So I'm very excited.
And then
He's going because there's Lord of the Rings people going, Elijah Wood and Bill Boyd, I think, and Dominic, what's his name?
Yeah,
I forgot his last name. They're all from Lord of the Rings, so that's really awesome.
And then Peter Billingsley, who was Ralphie.
Oh my gosh, him and the kid, his friend who got his tongue stuck to the pole, he's going too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I overlooked it. I didn't see him, but yeah.
I'm so I am like Lauren. I am heavily considering flying out and then flying back with you to Connecticut just for this. No, and I cannot afford to fly right now. But I know, and I was like so jealous, but you know, because I mentioned, I don't know what episode it was, I wanted to go to Terrificon, you know, in like a few weeks because, you know, Brian O'Halloran, Dante from Clerks, and then Jeff Anderson, who was Randall, were going, but Jeff Anderson isn't going now. He canceled.
Yeah.
So I was and we've seen Brian like 1,000 times, and I would love to go, but I mean, it's a lot of money for me to spend to see a single person. So I was like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. But I was so bummed because I want to meet Jeff Anderson so bad. But, you know, it's fine.
I know.
So I know you're going to that convention too.
Yes.
And that's at the end of September.
Yeah, so that's happening. And then literally not even, because that's that Friday, and the Wednesday after on the 2nd, I'm leaving to go to Connecticut for a week. So
yay!
Maybe we'll do something in person for the podcast if we have time.
Maybe.
Or something.
Question mark?
I don't know. We'll see. But
see.
Then after that, when I get back, we should be on a more regular schedule.
Yeah.
Because then I won't be traveling. It'll be the holidays and stuff is always busy. So I can't talk. Dude, I'm tired. It's always busy. So yeah, we'll play it by ear around holidays and stuff, but we should be more regular posting after that. So.
Yeah. So just bear with us if it's a little wonky for a bit, but you know, I wish you guys were coming for Halloween because King Diamond's playing in Boston on Halloween.
I saw the Overkill isn't playing though. That's the only show they're not playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So who is it?
It's just, I don't know. I have no idea. The other band
is it just playing. Him? I don't even know who it. I just saw King Diamond and I was like, what? So,
I know they're coming here to Utah November 16th. So
well, shit.
Right before Quinn's birthday. So
you should go to that thing.
I know. We both seen King Diamond though, so like it was cool and everything, but like here's the thing about going to giant shows in this state. People are gross. Like really gross. So I don't want to get sick before Thanksgiving. So
fair enough. That, and you know, years ago I saw King Diamond play Abigail. I'm so sorry, my voice just cracked. I saw him play Abigail in its entirety, and after that I'm like, everything else, you know, and he played like some Merciful Fate songs and stuff like that, and I was like, I don't know if I need to ever see anything after this. Like, yeah, it was so.
We saw him at Rock and Shock like right before Halloween too. So
yes, like
we
yeah,
that's close enough for me. I'm not like a ripping King Diamond fan. Like I like it, I respect it, not like a super fan though. So I wouldn't pay money to go see him again. So
yeah, I know, because it is expensive, especially like big shows like that. It's all this fucking money, like, you know, it's just, and I don't have that disposable income, you know, none of us do, now that they charge us 16 times more than what we used to pay for everything.
Well, because like, there's a service fee, a breathing fee, you could touch your toes fee. I mean, there's so many fees on top of it. It's ridiculous.
It's true. Like, oh, a convenience fee. Like, who the fuck is it convenient for? Not me.
Yeah, like, no shit. Like,
God, I sound like mom when I said that.
Yeah, you did.
Oh God, it's starting. Help. Help me. No, so yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with us. We just wanted to like fill you in. Everything's fine. We were just busy. So we're not gonna have another 2-year fucking hiatus. So
yeah, trust me. So
we're past that now.
Oh,
so
yeah. But yeah, it's been about 20 minutes, so I feel like we could just go on to the next part and take a little break.
Yeah, because what we're doing today, and if you're not a fan of Harry Potter, goodbye. We will see you in the next episode.
Yeah,
Hello,
goodbye.
everybody that's cool and awesome. Thank you for sticking around. This was something you and Quinn just did randomly one day, was just like
this was like
movies.
This was a few days ago. Like, we were just talking about Harry Potter, and I'm like, what is your favorite Harry Potter movie? And I'm like, hold on, let's rank them. So we did, and then we had like a really good discussion about like, here's why I put this here, and here are my thoughts on this one, and like whatever. And I'm like, this is something we need to do for the podcast, because if you have been listening to this podcast for any period of time, or if you know me and Megan outside of this podcast for any period of time, you know how much we love Harry Potter. We watch the movies every year, and we've been watching them every year for like over a decade now, almost 2 at this point. So
I remember being in 2nd grade, and my 2nd grade teacher, God rest her soul, she passed recently, read us the first book, The Sorcerer's Stone, and I was like, okay. Like, and then we watched the movie. We went to the theater and watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. And we were in
4th grade when that came out. So that must have been
we were in like 3rd grade.
Are you sure? Hold on. Let me see.
It was I think it was like 2000 or something. Hold on. Furious.
Put in the Bob Ross music.
2001.
We were in 4th grade.
But when in 2001? Wait, what day was it?
November 16, 2001. We just started the 4th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
right.
Yeah, shit. I thought we were in 3rd grade.
No, it was I distinctly remember it being the 4th grade, because then we graduated in 2003 from the 5th grade and went to 6th grade.
That's right.
So, yeah, so we were in the 4th grade. We just started 4th grade.
It might be because of the book then, because I remember when we were in the 3rd grade.
The book came out when we were like in 2nd, 3rd grade. You were right.
I remember when we were in 3rd grade for Christmas, we got that levitation toy thing where you make the ball float.
That was 4th grade.
Things. That was 3rd grade.
No, it wasn't. That was the 4th grade. I definitely remember that.
I could have swore we were in 3rd grade when
it was Christmas 2001. It was after the movie came out.
I could have swore it was before then.
No,
because I remember getting that toy and being like, "This is the coolest thing ever." Because
I do too. But it was the 4th grade.
All right, whatever. I'm fucking dropping it. So yeah, whatever. We were in the 4th grade, and we had the toy, and we had the books, and it was great. So yeah. So we're fanatics, and I remember we saw. I don't remember which movie it was. Where's the one where this is all spoilers because the movies have been out for years. So if you don't know the movies or whatever and don't want it spoiled, go watch them first and then come back. What's the movie where Dumbledore gets killed?
Deathly Hallows Part 1.
No, it was the 6th one.
Or Half-Blood Prince.
Half-Blood Prince. That's right.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He does that movie.
I remember we saw that movie when we were on vacation because
that's right. We were in Gettysburg.
That's right. We could not wait to like get home to see it. We literally found a movie theater in like outside of Gettysburg. It wasn't even in Gettysburg.
Well, that theater was right next to our hotel, which was outside of Gettysburg. Remember, it was like behind the hotel.
And we were like, we're going to see it today. Like like all of our plans to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
So we could, go see that movie.
And we went at like 8:00 at night too. There was like no one there. It was awesome.
I was so happy.
Yeah, that theater was behind our hotel, and there was like next to a mall too. And it was really nice. It was a nice area.
Yeah, it was actually really. I would love to go back to Gettysburg. Quick side note. But yeah, so we are fanatics. Point of all that being, we are fanatics. So I don't even know what your favorites are. So this is going to be news to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm so excited. I did the Twitter clap. So we're gonna go to a break.
Yes.
So we can get into that. I'm putting in a song from Hell's Gate. And if you watch Jamming Out All Badass, you know that I recently like had Francisco play this, like I requested it. And they're from Dallas. And it's their demo came out. It's only 2 songs, literally. And this is the first of the 2. It's so good. I was like, I have been waiting for this for so long. So I'm gonna put that in. And then when we come back, we're gonna get into some Harry Potter shit. And like I said, if this isn't your thing, don't leave a comment and be like, oh, fucking suck. Like, we don't care, obviously. So, you know, we'll just see you in the next episode. You can goodbye. You know, Laura and I are leaving.
We're doing the Queen's Wave. Goodbye.
Yes. But it's actually the song from Bear in the Big Blue House playing in the background.
Oh my goodbye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye. That's the song.
I'm surprised you remember that.
Maggie, it is ingrained into the back part of my brain. So
I know how many times we'd come home from school and just that would be on, and we're like, no, wait, we want to watch it.
It's not goodbye. It's still daylight. But then they play another episode, and we're like, oh well.
Welp, so much for that.
Yep.
So I'm gonna put in Hell's Gate now that we've taken that trip down memory lane.
Yep.
And when we come back, we're getting into some Harry Potter shit. Buckle the fuck up. It's gonna be, especially if we disagree, it's going to get heated, my guy. A heated debate. So I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
But all right, we'll be right back. and welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
So, the time has come.
Cue the Harry Potter music.
I'm sure you all are just dying to know what our Harry Potter movies are in the order of like least favorite to favorite.
Most. Yeah.
Most.
This is just for us, honestly. I don't give a shit if anyone else agrees or not.
No.
This is for us.
I don't care if anyone agrees. I don't care if anyone listens. We just have to do this and get it out. So
yeah. But if you like it and you do agree and you do like want to listen, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And honestly, like, thank you. Like, to anyone that gives us a fraction of their time, we appreciate it.
A fraction of a fuck.
Yeah, like an iota of a fuck. So thank you.
Okay.
All right. So we're starting, and there's 8 movies. So we're going to start with the 8th one.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite?
Well, just to clarify before I say, there are 8 movies but 7 books, but they split the last book into 2 movies. Oh, I just hit my headphone. Yeah. They split the last book into 2 movies. So that's why there's 8.
Yes.
Okay.
There's Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2. But yes, go ahead.
My least favorite Harry Potter movie is The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
My least favorite is The Goblet of Fire.
What? So you and Quinn are going to have hands because that was his favorite.
Are you serious?
Oh, it was the dragons, really, but...
Here's why. The dragons are cool. What I don't like about The Goblet of Fire is the weird, awkward teenage interactions, that whole ball thing and the fucking... It wasn't even necessary. None of it.
That's why it was lower on my list, too. I didn't really like that either. It just didn't fit with anything else. That I can agree with.
Yeah, like, it was just weird. And it just, every time I have it on, like, I don't get into it like the other ones. It's not, there's a lot of, like, idle, like, storyline that goes on. Like, you know, oh, you think she's cute or whatever. It's so, like, not, like, relevant to the entire story arc. Like, you know, at least to me. That's why, though, that I was gonna say the fucking meme of Dumbledore being like, "Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?" Whatever he said.
Oh yeah,
hilarious. I will say that.
The memes are fire, but the goblet is not. But
right, ha.
So, Prisoner of Azkaban is my least favorite because if anyone knows anything about like the history of the directors of the movies, this movie was the only one to have like a different director from any of the other movies, and it was just fucking weird. Like, we only hear about werewolves once in this movie. The plot line is weird. They make Sirius Black to be out like this terrible person, and then all of a sudden in the rest of the movies he's like a good guy. It was weird. It was just the way they did this movie, and it just went from like super lighthearted, like from the first 2 movies, to like instantly just way darker. And I'm like, it was too stark. It was way too fast with like that stuff. Because, you know, at least the other movies, it kind of like eased you into it. But this one, it was like too serious, and it was too much. I always think it's too much.
It was too serious, if you will. I'm sorry. I'll see myself out. I'm sorry. Goodbye, everybody. Lord, you take over.
Okay, so just kidding, but yeah,
no,
that's why it's my least favorite. And it's like, I mean, the Dementors were cool, and the werewolves themselves are cool. Like, you know, Lupin being the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, like, he was really cool. I loved his character and everything, but it was
my favorite of the Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers. He was always my favorite.
That cabinet with the where you have your fear come out and you say ridiculous and it changes it into something like crazy, you know, that's funny. That was amazing. I loved it. But it was just not like any of the other movies to me. It just felt weird. It was too serious too quick. I get it. That's why it's my least favorite.
Next one.
Yes.
Deathly Hallows Part 1 for me.
I said Part 2.
Really?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. Too many unnecessary deaths. Way too many. Like, I understand it was a battle, like we're gonna get Voldemort and put him in his fucking place. That's cool. Why did so many people need to die? It was unnecessary. Like Hedwig and Dobby and one of the Weasley twins and Lupin and his wife. One of them would have been fine, one or two, but like all of them, it's too much. I didn't like
Lauren
it.
just spouted all of the spoilers in 5 seconds.
Oh,
that was
already
amazing.
prefaced it. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. That movie's like over a decade old.
Yeah.
Like, please. So.
Well, I don't like part 1 because nothing fucking happens. They're just in the woods, and then a fucking Nick Cave song comes on, and it's just like, I understand like it's important because it like explains a lot of stuff, but they could have easily put that in the other movie and just made it a little bit longer. They didn't need like 40 minutes of them just, it's like Lord of the Rings, like just in the woods, walking, getting from place to place. Like it was so unnecessary. All of it. Like that's the only reason. Like there's no, and I preferred part 2 because at least shit happens, you know, and shit gets explained, and I'll get to that in a minute. But, you know, I hated part 1 because it was just like filler to me. It was like boring. So, you know, I would almost prefer, you know, the string of darts than, you know, just like, oh, just them running from place to place and like hiding out, and like that's the movie. It's like, yeah, this could have all been done in like 20 minutes, you know, like we didn't need a whole other movie for this, but you know,
well,
that's
I guess
just me.
I get that too. And honestly, I'll just skip ahead and just say I put Deathly Hallows Part 1 at number 5 just because I don't know, it was like I liked the build up to the battle, and I guess that's where we differ, because you thought it was boring. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was really exciting that everything was starting to fall into place and everything is like gearing towards this final battle, and you know, it's, you know, it was like coming together, and it felt really satisfying for me.
Yeah, I prefer just to skip right to the battle. We don't need all the filler. That's just the main thing.
To be fair, though, I also write a lot more than you do, and as a writer, that excites me way more, you know? So, and I get some people just don't, they just want to get to the chase, and I get it, but
yeah,
I don't know.
So
I like to build up for that. Yeah.
That's why it's so low, but for 6, I put Order of the Phoenix.
Oh. I put Half-Blood Prince.
Okay, so Order of the Phoenix, the reason why it's so low is Umbridge. I cannot, and I know she's supposed to be hated, but her character sucks. You know, just like her office with all the pink and the cats, and just like...
You and Quinn had the same opinion, because I think you put that in the same place too.
Yeah.
In number 6.
I didn't like her as a character. Like, if she was more like, I don't know, like Maleficent, like someone that looks mean and whatever, and she's coming in, she's like 4'8", she's dressed like the Queen of England with her fucking tweed pink suit on. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Like, it just wasn't, and you know, it just wasn't, like, it didn't fit with everything. Like, when you expect someone who acts like her, you want them to match, and I think she did that intentionally because it's supposed to be like a contradiction or whatever, but it didn't work, you know? Because she didn't look innocent. Like, you could tell in her expressions and her, you know, pursed lips and everything that she was a bitch. But it's like, it just was weird. And having her become headmaster and all this politics with the Ministry of Magic. I can't even talk. Like, it just was fucking weird. Though there's parts of the movie I love, like where they, you know, go and they're like training, and, you know, like that part of it was like cool. But like her as a character, and she was most of the movie. It's like, ugh, you know, like and I know she's supposed to be hated, so I guess they did their job, but I think they could have done it better, you know, because at least like with the Malfoys, they look like assholes, right? So it's fitting. So, you know, like they look mean. Lucius has got like a permanent scowl on his face, and so does Draco. And you're like, yeah, of course they're assholes. Like,
so Jason Isaacs, who plays Lucius Malfoy, also going to be at that convention that I'm going to.
Don't tell me that. I want to meet him.
Bonnie Wright, who plays Ginny, is going to be there too, which is crazy.
That is fucking crazy. Dude,
you know, Harry Potter's like the only big movie she's ever done, and then she did like one movie for BBC and that's it.
Are you serious?
That's nuts. Yeah. I was reading her like little bio thing. I'm like, wow, she's never done anything else? Like, that's crazy to me. I thought she would have been in a lot more stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
So she's literally just Ginny Weasley. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I did not care for that movie. And like, you know, it's not my least favorite, but you know, it's just like, you know, her addition to it didn't really, I'm sure in the books it's a lot better. I never really read any of the books other than the first two, but I'm sure in the books it's like a lot better, but in the movie I didn't care for it, you know. I just, when that comes on, I'm like, next. Like, I don't
care. I understand.
Yeah, so that was 6 for me.
So Half-Blood Prince for me, me as in Lauren. Hi, sorry if I know some people get confused by our voices, but
yeah, Lauren. This is Lauren's pick.
Megan's audio quality is a little bit clearer than mine because she's the one recording on her end. Just so you could tell us apart right now, mine's a little more muffled. But
yeah, until we figure out a system.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But Half-Blood Prince, I just don't really remember that movie. I mean, besides Dumbledore dying, of course, but like otherwise, like. It just, I don't know. It was just weird to me. Like, they made potions for the entirety of the Harry Potter series up until that movie as like this weird fucking outlier. Like, it's like nerdy. We don't need to use it, blah, blah, blah. But like, as soon as like that movie comes, all of a sudden it's like fucking cool. And now we're going to focus on it because think about it. Defense Against the Dark Arts is like the center of the movies, like as far as like course wise, what they focus on, you know, because of Dementors and shit and like Voldemort. And then like herbology for all like the petrifying and stuff and, you know, the magical creatures class and like all that. Like they focus on everything else, but they see potions as this like terrible thing, even though it's probably one of the most useful and awesome. I love apothecary stuff, so I thought it was the coolest thing. But the fact that they saved it for the 6th fucking movie is nuts, you know. So, and I know, and I will spoiler. My 5th one is Half-Blood Prince. So, yeah, my 5th is Deathly Hallows Part 1, which you already talked about. So going into my 5th one, Half-Blood Prince. Still, what I like about it is you that's where you learn about what are the things that Voldemort makes, the Horcruxes.
Yes. And that's where we figure it out, like this is how he's been able to stay alive and stuff like that. And
that was in that movie. See, I always forget that movie.
Yeah. So. And I love Slughorn too. He's hilarious. You see him, he's an armchair hiding in a dark house. Like that's fucking hilarious. And you know, and Harry's fucking mad the whole movie. And I was like, you know what? I love that because I'm like, think about being Harry Potter. You're just trying to figure out life. You live with your abusive aunt and uncle and cousin. And now you find out like, oh, this is why I've been feeling out of place. And then everybody has been trying to kill you every single year when you go to school. I would be mad too. Like, just saying, you know, like, and I know it's because he was feeling like Voldemort's like anger and stuff. And then we figure out like, you know, a part of Voldemort lives within him and that's why he can like see his thoughts and all this shit. And that was really a good movie because, you know, and everybody was like arguing and it was like, as growing up Italian, that is just like our bread and butter. Like you want to see people get pissed. Like, yeah, you know, like that was just Christmas at our house. I'm kidding, by the way. But, you know, that's why I really liked it. It wasn't my favorite by far because I agree. Like the potions thing was like, and I get it. Like we find out Snape is the Half-Blood Prince and we find out that he is like, you know, had like a muggle father and a mom that was a witch and stuff. Like, so he's half-blood, quote unquote, even though he was a Death Eater amongst Voldemort's ranks, he was allowed in despite not being pure blood, quote unquote. So Dude, when you break it down, like, Harry Potter is some of the most racist shit on the planet.
Yeah, no
Like,
shit, right? It's terrible.
I remember
but...
I took a class in college, and it was about literature and film, and my professor straight up was like, this is the most racist. He's like, I will never watch this because it's so racist. And we were like, what? And he was like, think about the language they use and use the words black and white instead. And I was like, oh yeah, I could see that. So
Yeah.
it's very like vulgar in that sense, but you know, I really like the Half-Blood Prince. And then you learn a little bit more about like Snape and like how he was bullied by like Harry's dad and why he's so like mean to Harry because he looks just like his dad and you know all that shit. So it's, you know, it's
yeah, and to me that's just immature of him, honestly. Like, get over your grudge. The guy is dead. You joined the army that killed him, basically. Let it go. You don't need to torment his fucking kid. You know, be an adult. That's why as much as people love Snape and think he's so redeeming at the end, I never liked him for that reason, because he's a child, you know? He's a fucking child in that movie, where, well, I'm just going to be mean to, because the popular kids were mean to me, and now I have control, and blah, blah, blah. It's that whole trope, it just forces me to tears. I'm like, get over it. You put on your like, big boy pants to get over it. So, and
I did read she tried to make him like an anti-hero, because we find out in part 2, Deathly Hallows part 2, that he's been actually trying to protect Harry this whole time because he was in love with his mom. Like, it's just fucking crazy. Like, and I did not see it coming, like, for a mile. Like, I did not think that they even like knew each other in any way until, you know, we see the flashback in part 2 or whatever.
Yeah, and Dumbledore's like, you're gonna have to kill me because it's gonna come down to that point. So he knew he was gonna die anyways, but it's like, I don't like that shit. It's like, you save it all till the end, and then it's like, oh well, now it's justified. No, it's still bullshit, you know. And that's the part I don't really like too much. That's why I put Half-Blood Prince way down. But
yeah, and so Half-Blood Prince is my number 5, and yours is part 1.
Deathly Hallows part 1,
yeah. So
now we're halfway through.
So my 4th is Deathly Hallows part 2.
Okay,
I have it up there, and because it's the climax of everything, right? It's everything finally, like, we see everything's explained. It comes to a head. There's death, it's action, it's like the whole thing. It's finally like, although I hate the first part where they like the first, I don't know, 20 minutes of the movie where they sneak into Gringotts, and because they have to get that thing out of Bellatrix's vault, and they escape on that dragon that just destroys everything, and I wasn't crazy about that. But no, I love part 2 because it, you know, and then Ron and Hermione finally like get together, and you're like, finally, we had to wait until like the very end of the last movie for that to happen.
That's how stubborn he was. And that's why I don't really like Ron Weasley either.
I know.
He's also a giant baby. It's like, these people need to grow up. Hermione has it all together in these movies, honestly.
I know. Like, Hermione is like more in charge and like than any of them. Yeah. So
though I'm more organized and has a plan more than anyone else.
I love that one quote from part 2 where they're like trying to figure out what to do, and she's like, we need to make a plan, and Harry's like, Hermione, when has it ever worked? We show up, all hell breaks loose, or whatever he says.
Oh yeah.
Like, I laugh because that is literally every single movie. It's like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and then it never works out, and they have to be quick on their feet and figure it out. But like, I love part 2 because I know you don't care for it because it was a lot of death, but I need that. Like, I need the action. I agree that there was like some people that didn't need to die, but you know, it adds to the drama of it. And like the last scene where he's like fighting Voldemort and their wands are like, you know, and that epic music's playing. I was like, it was like fucking watching like a Godzilla movie. I'm like on the edge of my seat, mouth agape. I'm like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, and I thought that was cool too, and like the whole battle scene and everything at Hogwarts was cool, but it's like, you know, it also gets predictable where it's like, of course people are gonna die, you know,
Yeah.
of course, you know, it's gonna be left in like fucking ruin afterwards. And it's, I don't know.
I
Maybe
think we
that's
were
why
just
it's
like, but at least for me, like I'd been waiting for it and it finally happened. That's why I love it. Where it's like, oh, finally, like no more like cryptic messages, anticipation, anything. I'm like, yes. So, and one of my favorite scenes is when what's her name? Mrs. Weasley. She kills Bellatrix.
Oh yeah. Get away from my daughter, you bitch.
You bitch. And I'm just like, yeah! Because I hate Bellatrix too. I cannot stand her.
But that's how you know they're good actors, is when you hate them. Because they're doing it right. Like, say what you want about Helena Bonham Carter, but she knows how to play a bitch. She knows how to. But in person, probably one of the nicest people you'll ever see. So,
oh yeah. So what was your number 4?
My number 4 was Order of the Phoenix. Because I know you say you hate Umbridge. And yes, that was an infuriating part of the movie. But I just think there was so much more good in that movie to cancel her out. Like, that room opening where they were training, amazing. Love that concept. Harry finally feeling like he has family and a home and places to go because of Sirius being there, and the actual Order of the Phoenix, all the people a part of it welcomed him into it, you know. And
in the house, I do love that house.
In that house with the whole family tree on it, you know. And I just thought that feeling of like, I'm home finally. That was the best part of that movie to me, because he had been longing for that his entire life, you know, after his parents died. And in that movie, he finally got to feel even just a little bit of it, you know.
Dude, and you know what? I agree with that too. Like, I love that. Umbridge ruined that movie for me, I think. Like, I couldn't get past her, but I know, I do love that though. Like, you know, finally like figuring out like his family and like more about his parents and where he came from. Like, that was actually really cool.
That was the biggest sigh of relief for me for him. I was like, oh my gosh, he finally has a home, you know, outside of like all the hell he's been through. And like, Umbridge was terrible though. Jesus Christ.
I know.
She was unbearable in that movie. But I don't know. I just think the good outweighs the bad. So that's why it was pretty high up for me. That, and I fucking love Sirius Black. I fucking love him. Gary Oldman, like, can we just take a second? I would let Gary Oldman ruin my life. Run over my feet with a tractor and put them on his mantle. Just like, I don't care, you know? That man is fine.
I love Gary Oldman. I can't even like begin to describe to you. And if you ever watch like Bram Stoker's Dracula with him and Winona Ryder, who I can't stand, by the way. Random quick side note, fuck Winona Ryder. She's a terrible actress. She sucks. She's in all the good movies and she's terrible. But anyway, I cannot even stand how attractive Gary Oldman is. Even still now, he still like looks the same. Like, it's just wild. Anyway,
number
so that 3.
Was my 4. Yes.
You're
gonna hate my number 3.
You're gonna be surprised that mine's the Sorcerer's Stone.
Huh. Okay. I can see that though.
Yeah, I love the Sorcerer's Stone, and because, you know, it's the first one we watched. It's nostalgic. It's kind of like still like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and you're like, ooh, wow, what's all this stuff? And you know, it's the one that I love to go back and just watch sometimes. And they're still like young and innocent, and there's just like enough danger.
Everything's new, and
yeah. So I love it. I still like, it's got so many like classic lines, and like, even though Dumbledore is the different actor from, you know, in the first 2 movies than the rest, because he passed, but I love the first one. And, you know, you get to see everything like Hogwarts and then Diagon Alley and like in the train and all that stuff. And it's all like new, and we're just like, wow. And it's like, I could watch it today and it would still make me feel the same way I did when I was a child. So
that's why I put Sorcerer's Stone at number 2. But number 3, I put the Goblet of Fire.
Really?
Yes, because I know you thought it was weird, but I thought like adding that element of just, I thought it was refreshing to add like bringing in different schools and having this giant tournament going on, and just bringing something different than all the dark shit that's been going on, especially from Prisoner of Azkaban, which was so dark and unnecessary. It's like, okay, it just shows that they're kids, kids going into this fucking battle, and then Cedric dying, by, Peter Pettigrew or whoever, and just like, I thought it was great, and I'm glad he died, because first of all, I fucking hate Robert Pattinson, but second of all, like, just it really like it drove like home how serious this shit is,
Yeah,
especially, and I loved too in the Triwizard Tournament the dragons. Like, this is what my husband and I were talking about this, because Goblet of Fire is his favorite. He absolutely loves dragons more than anyone I've ever met in my life. So when there's a dragon battle, of course it's going to be his favorite, Right. But for me, I just thought it was cool, like just seeing all the different elements of like Hogwarts and what it has to offer, and that other schools exist outside of Hogwarts, an all-girls school, an all-boys school, and then they're the mixed school,
Yeah.
So,
and I get that, like, it is cool, and like it brings something different. It was just that teenage awkwardness for me. I can't, like, it makes it hard for me to watch. Like, I just, in that whole ball thing and the fucking whatever, I couldn't get past it. I will admit, the graveyard at the end of the movie is cool as fuck. That maze was cool as fuck.
Yeah.
But, it's just like, I will watch any other movie over that one, and I'm not even kidding. So
that's how I feel about Prisoner of Azkaban. I just don't want to watch it ever.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. Prisoner of Azkaban is number 2 for me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, here's the thing. I know you hate it and you think it's too dark, but that is why I love it. Like, and first of all, we're introduced to Sirius Black, who is my favorite character, I think, of the whole series.
Oh, yeah, mine too.
Like,
he is my favorite. I have his wand. I'm obsessed with him.
Like, he was my favorite, and I love Hermione's little time travel necklace. And, going back and, cause and effect, like, how they helped their past selves out, and like that whole part of it was really cool for me. And then you see like like their interactions with like Snape and stuff like that from when they were kids, and you find out about Peter Pettigrew and like how he was still alive. And what was the movie with Mad-Eye Moody, by the way?
That was Goblet of Fire.
That was Goblet of Fire, that's right. Because I'm just thinking about like who else was in there, because that was the 4th one. But that's why I loved it. And werewolves, obviously. Quinn loves dragons, I love werewolves. So like
that makes sense. So.
Yeah, so that's why I really loved it. And when he turns into that gnarly werewolf, and I love Lupin, and we're introduced to him, and I don't remember what it's called, but that map where you could see is. Like, I love that too, and like him wandering around the castle and stuff like that. I really liked it, and I like it because it's so drastically different from the other two. It was like literally like, we're not wasting any time, we're fucking jumping right in. I really like that. I know you hate that. I love it. So
I didn't like it right away. If that movie was like number 5 or 6, I would have liked it a lot more. I just thought it was too soon. That's my big gripe. They didn't ease into it as much as they should have. But the thing is too, they had a different director for that movie, and he was the only director that only worked on that movie, but otherwise that was it. He never directed any of the other movies. Yeah. So it just felt like out of place to me, I guess. But I probably would like the book more than the movie for sure. So the flow would have been a lot better. But the movie itself, it just felt starkly different from everything else. So that's why it's just hard for me to get into. I
love like the whole thing with Sirius Black too. Like, we find out about him. Yeah. And I like that they introduced him as like, like this crazy person. Then you find out, no, it wasn't him. you know, because he was the one that was accused of like turning over Harry's parents to fucking Voldemort, but it was actually Peter Pettigrew. And we, you know, the truth comes out and we realize like he's actually Harry's godfather. And I think that's really the first time we find out that Harry has some kind of like family still outside of his aunt and uncle and shit. Yeah. And, you know, and I think that was the movie with the opening scene where his, one of his aunts comes to visit and he blows her up like a balloon. And that was fucking hilarious.
He's like in the sky.
Yeah, just floating around wherever they live. And I really love that movie. That's one that I watch a lot, honestly. Like, I know it's like, so I love her. Like, this is my least favorite. And I was like, oh, you're going to be surprised.
I know.
But I think we both have... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, that's how I felt about Goblet of Fire, too, because that was your least favorite. And I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
So,
what was your second?
Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't talk about either, but you basically said my feelings on it. It was just new and exciting, and you know, it starts off the series so well, and I always go back to that movie because it's just so nostalgic and so like it was perfect, you know, like it was written beautifully. It didn't get too serious yet. You were just starting to get into like what this dark past of Harry's is and like everything. But it focused more on like, what is Hogwarts? What is all this magic shit that's going on, you know? And I love it. I just love it. It's a feel-good movie. It's like one of my favorite cozy movies.
Me too. And honestly, I might put it on today just because we talked about it.
Literally.
But I think we have the same favorite.
I think so too.
Chamber of Secrets.
Yes, it's my number one. I absolutely love the Chamber of Secrets.
Me too. And here's why.
Yes.
So it still has like, well, and I think we both agree on this because we've said this before. It still has like that little bit of innocence and like everything from the first movie, but then we start to really get into the nitty gritty. And I love the idea of Tom Riddle existing as a memory with the journal and everything.
That was the coolest part of the whole movie was the journal.
It was amazing. The spiders.
I've never seen... Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I've never seen an object like that in a movie at that age before. Because I had to be like 9-10 years old when it came out. It like... It's the idea of a journal talking back to you was the coolest thing to me. And it still is. So.
Yeah. And like, I loved the flying car. I loved, you know...
I love the actual Chamber of Secrets with the basilisk. I thought it was so, like with those pillars going down the hall, and it just looked so fucking cool.
And the basilisk wasn't like, you know, like a kaiju or anything. It wasn't like too over the top. It literally was just a giant snake with yellow eyes. And it was perfect. You know, the Chris Columbus directed the first two movies. I wish he did the rest, honestly.
I know. Like, he did such a good job.
He did. You know, and like it was cool to see like different elements from like the other movies and stuff like that. But I think he was superior. Like I think he really grasped the story better than most of the directors. And the other movies are still great, but out of all of them, I think he's the one that really kind of captured like, you know, what Hogwarts was intended to be, and you know, the imagery and everything like that. Just really knew how to like convey the book, basically.
I agree completely. Like there's still like a glimmer of like that whimsy, like, you know, we were talking about with the first movie, but it starts to just get a little darker, and that little bit I think is what took it from like here to here, you know what I mean? It just brought it all the way up here. So it's so good.
It's the best one. It's the one I've watched more than any other fucking Harry Potter movie. So, it's just so good, you know?
I know.
Like, I could watch it every single day and never get tired of it. But
I just love it. I loved it when they went back in time, too, to the 50s, when Tom Riddle was still at Hogwarts. And, you know, I thought that was really cool, and everything was in black and white. So
it was so cool. And, like...
But the only thing I didn't like from that movie was Mr. Norris or Mrs. Norris getting petrified.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't die. She was just petrified. So
yeah, but the body hanging upside down, I didn't like that.
Yeah, that was a little much for a kid's movie, I would admit.
Otherwise, flawless. So.
They could have like showed like the shadow or something. They didn't have to show it directly. So yeah, so that go
really
ahead.
Quick, to go back to the first movie really quick, I thought that troll in the dungeon was the best part.
Yeah.
By the way.
Troll in the dungeon.
Thought you want to know things.
Yeah.
So fucking funny. Everyone panics. The trolls are stupid in that movie. It's like, it was so good. Those
trolls
first
are
two
stupid
movies,
in real life. So
well, that's true. Those first two movies are untouchable, but the Chamber of Secrets, it's just got that little oomph to it. Yeah. That the first one doesn't. And I just...
In that one scene where I think this was the second movie, and they go to like Ron's house, and his mom like freaks out.
Yes.
Yep. Where have you been? And she like, I'm like,
where have you been?
Yeah. And then like... he gets the howler at well, he's sitting there eating, and he gets that howler. And
like, that was the
Weasley. And I'm like, oh my god.
And the whole letter explodes afterwards.
That is one of my favorites.
Well, then at the end, she's like, "Oh, and Ginny, dear, congratulations!"
Yeah.
You know, because that was her first year, was the second movie. So
yeah, I love it. And I love too, like, instead of like yelling them about flying the enchanted car, the dad looks and he goes, "How'd it go?" And he gets like really excited.
Oh, good.
It's like little moments like that are what make those like first couple of movies like so good, because you know, it kind of takes away from the intensity just enough. So so good. So I'm glad at least our favorite we could agree on.
Yeah, like, we didn't agree on anything else. That's surprising, because Quinn and I had some that were the same, but you and I didn't.
No, I told you I like bad movies, so I love Prisoner of Azkaban. And it's not a bad movie, obviously. It's just, you know, different.
It's unpopular, I think.
And you know what? The general consensus with the public is that Prisoner of Azkaban is the worst one. I looked it up. So a lot of people hate that movie. I fucking love. A lot of people hate that remake of The Haunting, by the way. And this is a random side tangent. I love it. I love the remake. Don't come for me, but I love it. So I'm known for just liking movies that are generally seen as like not good. So whatever. I don't care. So I was not expecting us to have like the exact same. And see, here's the thing. People think twins are exactly the same, that like all the same stuff. That could not be further from the truth. So
this is just an experiment. And one, we wanted to do this anyways, because I don't think we've ever done that before. And two, it's kind of an experiment in like, are twins really the same? We are not.
No.
We have similar interests, but we're not going to be exactly the same on everything.
1 out of 8 movies we agreed on. 1. So, and it was our favorite one, but you and I have said that 100 times to each other, so I knew your number 1 was already Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, and I did with you too. I already knew. I just didn't know how the rest was going to go. That was just for funsies. So
yeah. So, yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban, I put 2, and you're like, no, this is my least favorite. And I was like, oh.
See, that's Quinn's least favorite, too. He and I agreed on that, which is crazy.
Sorry, guys. So I guess we're never watching Prisoner of Azkaban together.
Well, we can't. I mean, I say it's my least favorite. I watch all of them. Yeah. You know? I still enjoy it. It's just my least favorite out of the ones I enjoy, you know?
Yeah. Same with me and like Goblet of Fire. Like, I'll watch it, of course, but it's not the one I would go to, obviously.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on my phone more during that one, you know.
So that's our list. That was fun.
Yep. That was very fun. I'm glad we did this, because
me too.
My husband and I decided to do this on a whim a few days ago, and I'm like, you know what? I'm saving this for a podcast.
We were going to talk about something completely different today. We were going to do like Glitch in the Matrix type stories and stuff like that. That'll be another episode, because I have been
after the next episode too of the stuff we really want to talk about.
Yeah. And do you want to just go ahead and say it?
Yeah, sure.
So there's all this like controversy happening around the current owner of the Conjuring house in Rhode Island. It's a lot. So
Yeah, we
we're
want to talk
gonna,
about it.
I mean, I watched some videos about it and I know a little bit, but I'm going to literally fall down a hole today to see what the fuck is going on. And like, we're going to
I'm
talk
not even
about
going
it.
to just fall down a hole when it comes to that whole controversy in the Conjuring house. I want to go down a Warren's hole, like the Warrens, you know, Ed and Lorraine, because we've been to their actual occult museum before. And we did not know a lot about them before we went there. And I feel like I need to research them a little bit more because there's some fishy stuff going on with them.
Yeah.
That I didn't know. So
yeah, like I remember even just, and I'll just say this, in the video I watched yesterday, they were talking about how, you know, the Warrens, when they found out about the haunting at the Conjuring house, they just showed up and, according to the family, made it worse. So I want, and they weren't allowed to go back. They didn't even talk to them. They were trying to like sue when the movie came out, the Conjuring movie and stuff like that. So that in itself kind of like, you know, started the whole chain of events that led up to this. And
yeah,
I mean, this is current as of like, you know, today's August 1st. This is as of July 2024. A lot of this stuff is happening. So I mean, it's happening like right now. So we want to talk about it like,
well, it's
soon.
relevant right now. Yeah. So next podcast we do, either it's probably going to come out next week or the week after. And we actually are going to do this. Like, we're going to plan for this and do this.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this stuff.
Because I want to know what the fuck is going on, because it also involves, if anyone's familiar with the show Ghost Hunters, Jason Hawes, who is, you know, the main guy.
The founder of TAPS. I don't know what it stands for. I forgot. But
it's like the Rhode Island Paranormal Research Group, basically. And, you know, that show was on the air for a long time. So, you know, and it involves him and like some other people, and like there's
his daughter and her fiance, and, you know, the previous owners that had the house before the current owner. It was a lot of people who worked there. So
there's a lot of stuff we're gonna have to like look into, and
we're gonna have to
I want to talk about this.
Me too. We're gonna have to make like a Venn diagram and just put it on the screen.
Yeah.
Get some screenshots or something so people aren't lost.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a lot of fun to delve into that, just because, you know, this is relevant to like our area. Well, you're in Utah right now, but you know, you lived in Connecticut most of your life, and we, you know, there's a lot of paranormal groups and people that are interested in the paranormal in this area because it is a hub for that kind of thing. So
it's very haunted in New England.
It's gonna be a lot of fun to delve into this. So that's gonna be the next episode. But yeah, so what song are you putting in?
I am putting in a song from a band called Nekrofilth, and it's called Devil's Breath, from the album of the same name. And it's their first album that came out in 2013. Really good black thrash. I was sleeping on them for a long time. Recently started listening to them, and I'm in love. So yeah, I'm putting that song in. And honestly, the song is what, like 2.5 minutes? It's probably the longest song in the whole album. The whole album itself is like 25 minutes.
Oh, I'm glad you picked a short song, because the one I just played was like 6 minutes long. So
yeah, it's like 2.5 minutes. I was going to do one that was 1.5 minutes, but I'm like, that's too short. I'm going to do something a little longer.
Just play like You Suffer from Napalm Death 15 times in a row.
Yeah, there you go. That's not even a full minute.
That would be hilarious. But we're going to put that song in. We're going to have some cool stuff coming for you in the next few weeks. It'll be out. And then that'll probably be the last episode we upload until like October or something.
Yeah, our little hiatus again.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. It's been a crazy year and a lot's been going on. So,
but we're back, motherfucker. So, you know, I'm so excited, and I'm glad we did this today, because I was glitching the Matrix type stuff. We're gonna have to like do like closer to Halloween, because it is scary.
That's scary stuff.
There's like a whole subreddit on Reddit about it. Like, You know, I love how I said subreddit on Reddit as if it would be anywhere else. Like
it's redundant.
Well, you know what I mean. Like there's a
Yeah.
whole like Reddit page dedicated to it and stuff. The stories are fucking like I can't even like watch like videos about it or anything for too long because it fucks with me. So we're gonna talk about it. But
let's talk about
yeah. How fabulous is that?
I mean, how bad could that be? Anyway, we love Ina Garden.
And anyone else fans of Ina Garden? Just us? All right.
Contessa? All right. Well.
All right. So here's Nekrofilth, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Mis ojos negros se llenan de lujuria. Te vamos a llevar sin pelea. Cuando respiras la escorpamina, te voy a matar con mi verga. ¡Saborea el pinche sombra del diablo!